So Jez, the players have been back in pre-season for a little while now. Can you give us an update of where we're at?
Yeah, Sean's really happy with how the group's come back. I think football's changed so much in the last, 10, 15 years, pre-season more than anything, and it's almost pre-season now is fine-tuning players who come back as fit or maybe even fitter than when they left. You know, they've all had post-season programmes, and Sean's really happy with how they're looking. So I think there's a buzz about the training ground, as there always is this time of year. There's some faces that we're pleased to have re-signed, like James Dunn and Max Clark, even though we had to be a little bit patient with getting those deals completed. And some new faces, you know, the likes of David Gregory, Mediolito, Piero Mangoa, George Maris. I don't think I've forgotten anyone there, and obviously the familiar faces of last year. And I think it's really important that we build on what was achieved in the second half of last year. We didn't want loads and loads of changes. We just want to add to what we had at the end of last season, and it's been really pleasing that Colin Newton and Greg Taylor have been taking part in training with no reaction to their return to training from long-term injuries for both of them. Big boost to the squad, that, because both were integral in the run we had before Christmas when Sean won Manager of the Month. Both of those players are in the team, and whilst Barry's not actually on the grass at the minute, he's progressing well in his rehab. So yeah, I think everybody's in good spirits. Looking forward to getting away and having a different experience with Cambridge United. Really, youth team's been going away for years, but the first team not so. So I think it'll be really beneficial for Sean and Joe and the coaching staff to embed some of the new signings in. And you're going to ask me about new signings, and then I'll talk to you about Blair and Joe.
We touched upon the new signings just there. Can fans expect a few more new faces through the doors in the next couple of weeks?
Well, look, the ones I've listed amount to a few, and we signed Blair at the back end of last week. A player Sean knows really well. We're really pleased to secure his services. I think sometimes, maybe everybody looks for the spectacular signings, but it's the ones that are reliable and add to the group that are really important. It's important we have balance in the group, the right characters, the right type. Sean's really strong on that, and he knows what Blair will bring us, and he's trained from day one, so he's been an integral part of the group, even though it's been the second week before we've signed him on a contract. And Joe Pigott we're really excited about. If you look at his record, he scores goals. He's a really composed finisher. He's a young man with a little bit to prove, and we quite like that. Sean had a really good meeting. We've enjoyed speaking to him today, and really, I think with a lot of young players, they go into an academy system, they go out on loan to various clubs, but they always have the safety net of their parent club. And sometimes what those players need is the reality of going somewhere where it's the permanent home. They're going to go to a club now that it's our responsibility, along with Joe's, for him to develop and to him improve. But we know we're signing a player with huge potential, so we're really looking forward to him joining. And he didn't play yesterday at St Neots because we literally got the deal done at 5 o'clock on Friday. He'll be with the team this week in Holland and Germany, which will be fantastic for him to integrate into the group. And I know that Sean was really, really keen to bring him in, and we're really pleased that we were able to get the deal over the line.
Just finally, away from Cambridge United, some terrible news last week regarding Sean Whiter and Joey Abbs. The club obviously made a statement on that. Can you add anything further to that?
No, just that exactly what we said in the statement, Tom. We look at ourselves and we want to be a real part of our community, and we do a huge amount of work within our local community. And even this week, you'd be around the ground, the school children in from Fenditton Primary, and we have the seniors lunch, and we get the kids from Fenditton School singing at the seniors lunch, and we have our walking football, and we had an event the other day where we had kids again from the Ditton Fields cooking for some of our players, and the mayor and the chairman. And how many schools, we talk about we're working in 60 odd schools. Next year that number will grow even further. But we shouldn't forget that we're part of the local football community as well. And a lot of us are local and grown up in the city and played local football. And, it's a really terrible incident that happened, and real sad what's happened in you can't even begin to think of those circumstances for those two young lads, and our responsibility and what we want to try and do is as much as we can to support them. So there's obviously a financial aspect to that we want to try and be a facilitator where we can help everybody involved in local football to really raise a lot of money, and we'll talk to both families, as we have done already, to see how Cambridge United can play a big part in that. But I think it's supporting them after that and in the coming weeks and months as well that's going to be really, really important. But it's something that we don't want to talk about too much. We just want to do it because it's the right thing to do, and I think that's what Cambridge United is all about. And when someone, or some people in these cases, Sean and Joey, have had such a terrible thing happen to them, it's really incumbent on us as a football club, everybody involved in the football club, staff, players, directors, fans, to rally round and really do everything we can to stand alongside them and help them. So that's what we'll try and do.